Thank you for watching New One, News Echoes World Affairs. We give you global news and analysis so that you can have an informed opinion. I'm thanking you for watching us. My name is Shegun Johnson, and I have in the studio in faraway Lagos, BD Nana. BD, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Dr. Shegu. Good morning. Good morning, viewers. Good to have you here today. Let's do it again.
Yes, and in faraway Milan, we have Massive Mark. Mark, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Shagun. It's good to have you again. Morning, BD.
Good morning, Massive Mark.
Yes.
Yeah, we have three continents, if I'm right, or something about that. And we might as well fire. Unfortunately, on a sad note, we had late last night that Lisa Marie Presley died. Lisa Marie was the daughter of Elvis Presley, and many of us knew Elvis Presley, and of course know his songs and exploits. And we understand that she died in her home. She was found on the floor, and an alarm was raised, and paramedics came, and they took her to the hospital where they thought she could come up, and she was never resuscitated. The mother had to give a press conference that Lisa Marie has died. Now, many of us, especially the new generation, may not know Elvis Presley, but we know when Elvis Presley is in the house shakes. And when he leaves, he says, Elvis is out of the house. This is a sad news. Well, we don't want to go through her story, but we know that she married four times, divorced four times. One of them was Michael Jackson, and nobody believed in that marriage because it was at a time people were thinking that Michael Jackson was his sexuality was not particularly determined. So Michael Jackson came up with a brand new wife, Lisa Marie Presley. Less than 2 years, the marriage packed up, and only the kids once in a while, I think twice on that occasion. Let me leave it to you, ladies and gentlemen. Biddy, not a particularly good news coming from the United States of America.
Yeah, I heard about her demise. They had so fine rest. She's one woman who actually surprised a lot of people across the world. When it was rumored that she's married to Michael Johnson, nobody believed it. People never believed it. Not until even when Michael Jackson came to out to say it, people still have their doubts because they
Mm.
never believed that his organ was working to for a woman. So they
Okay, I'm
never believed.
listening. I'm listening.
So she will be well missed. May her
Mm.
soul find rest and may her family find the fortitude to bear the loss.
Amen. Amen. You should be a pastor, you know. Um, Mark, are you guys taking it in Italy?
Yes, sir. We had the news this morning that Lisa Marie Presley passed on last night. Cardiac arrest, like the news said. And yes, she has gone through a lot. I mean, dying at that young age of 54 means she went through a lot. Um, the mother, the family were saying this morning that they will respect if fans will just let it be and let them be able to have their quiet moment. So it's a sad news coming from Calabasas, California, United States. And we, like BD said, yes, she came to limelight, even though she was the daughter of Elvis, the popular rock and roll star. But what many people knew her with was marrying to Michael Jackson, even though it didn't last. Um, well, I mean, that was what brought her to limelight back in the days. So
Will you think? Will you think the story at that time? Will you think they ever made love? Michael was too clean. Was too clean. was too clean to be involved in such a messy thing like making love. And even to kiss was a different thing. Remember that Michael was in a bowl covered so that germs will not touch him. So didn't like kissing. On occasion, only twice he kissed Lisa Marie openly. What was it a real marriage, or people think it was just a cover up?
Yes, the thing is, there was that cover up anyway, but at the point, Michael had to come out to make people see that they were married. I mean, they were doing what spouse do. So there was this big event. It was a Grammy Award, and he invited her on stage and kissed her in front of everybody.
But I remember that occasion. You remember Michael
Yes,
saying, they never
yes,
thought this would work, did they? That was his line. I remember on that occasion. They never
yes.
thought this would work, really.
Really,
And
and yes, it was so that kissing in the public that in that event brought a lot of people said, okay, if they are kissing, then maybe they are doing more all that they should do as couple, you know. So, but
yeah, but the
yeah,
children never came. Let me ask Bidi. They never had
yes,
children
children
together.
never
Uh,
children never
but
came.
Bidi, I may disagree with you. Because Michael Jackson had children later, and we know that his children are still alive and probably doing well where they are right now. And also, Lisa had children. She had twins for Cage, and one before meeting with Cage, and we understand as well, unfortunately, one of them committed suicide in 2020. So,
Yes.
Bidi, I disagree with you that Michael's organ wasn't working, to quote you.
Even till today, people still believe that those children were got out of insemination. Even till today, people still argue it. I'm telling you, people still doubt how functional his manhood is. I don't know. I don't know why people have that perception about Michael Jackson. Yeah, he had children. Yeah,
Yeah, he had
but
children. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't. I don't know.
and I don't think he adopted them. So that's where. But of course, artificial insemination and all of this science make things possible. Unfortunately, we can't find out. It's too late. He's gone now. But there's no way we will mention Lisa Marie Presley without mentioning Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Mark, do we leave it as that?
Yes. But before we leave it, we want to say I send our condolence to the family. Death, nobody wishes death for anybody, and mostly when people die, it's young. 54 is pretty young. I'm in my 50s, and I know what it is to be gone.
And you don't want to die.
I don't want to die.
Nobody wants to die. Even people in their 90s,
They
nobody
don't want
wants
to
to die.
die.
Nobody wants to die. No one will die one
Nobody
day.
wants to die. Nobody wants
No
to die.
one will die
I,
one
thought-
day.
I thought you would go to heaven if
Well,
In
well,
any case,
we will
let's
die.
leave that matter.
Yeah, we
Mm,
will die someday. Everybody will die. Nobody is getting out of this earth alive. We're all going
mm.
Sure.
someday. Nobody's getting
Anyway,
out.
it's only one man that once told me to die is gain, but to live is Christ. But let's leave that matter. Let's go on to the United States of America. We're still in the US, where President Joe Biden is having problems with certain classified papers. We recall that President Donald Trump was having a lot of problem with Biden's government because there was certain classified document in his Florida home. Now, the same Biden is now having the same problem with the Republican controlled House of Reps. And they are making a lot of story and a lot of news and a lot of noise about it. Joe Biden is in trouble with all the classified papers. He has come out openly yesterday to say that these were mistakes and that he will cooperate with everybody to investigate what he has done. And I was listening to Joe Biden speaking yesterday, and I was thinking, this man is old, he's frail. How did he get into this one? The papers were found in his personal home and in his garage, we are told. So they found these papers, and they are even measuring the distance of the papers from his door, just in case, excuse me, just in case some foreign people have come to look for them. I really don't understand. But one man said, one man's gaffe is another man's gift. The gaffe of Joe Biden has given a gift to Donald Trump. Be in Lagos, Africans will not be wondering and considering these as serious political issues in Africa, especially in Nigeria. I mean, one governor once said they found a lot of money in his house, Barking Suwo in Kano State. He said, "What's the problem? It's government's house, it's government money. So what's the problem?" So when they were having discussions yesterday, I was thinking this will not be an issue in Africa. What do you think?
Exactly. It's not an issue in Africa. We've had things like that. If it was in Africa, I don't think what is happening in US will be happening now. It's not an issue in Africa. Even if it becomes an issue, they have a way of getting over it. But you should
Mm,
know that United States is not Nigeria. It's not African states. It's a
mm.
different ball game in the United States. Such classified documents are being seen with authorities. Joe Biden is no longer in office. He has left. So
You
such
mean Donald Trump? Donald Trump is no longer.
Biden, sorry, I made a mistake. Biden is no longer in office. Such
Trump.
documents is not
Trump,
expected
you
to be
meant
seen with
Trump.
him.
Mm.
I mean
Joe,
Biden,
no, then Joe
yeah,
Biden is the president right now, except something
yeah,
happened between like yesterday and today.
yeah. Wait,
Mhm.
I
No,
didn't
no,
get you.
no, she meant Trump. She meant Trump.
Yeah, yeah.
Trump,
Okay.
So
Trump.
Yeah,
it's
Donald Trump is no longer in power, but
yeah.
he's being charged. He's being charged for having government certified files. I think
Sorry,
that's the
sorry. I mean,
challenge there.
that's a
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
big problem in the United States of America, and
yeah.
they're not going to take it lightly with him. So, like you asked, if he's in Nigeria, it's not an issue
It's
because
not an
even when
issue.
if you have
I mean,
served, if you
Berkezu
have
made it very, very clear that you find government money in government house. I'm just spending it for the people. And Mark, more importantly, one of the things we study in political science is that power power is a very serious thing, and the absolute power corrupts absolutely. So
Yes.
power makes one corrupt.
Power,
Power
power.
corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So power, when you have power and you have not broken the law, it doesn't appear like you have power. And this is a study, is a big study. So for you to inform yourself that you are powerful, you do break some laws to show that you have power. So that's why they say power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And we have seen it again and again. Children of powerful people breaking laws, powerful people break. I mean, how will the president of the United States be sleeping with Monica Lewinsky if not because of the power that he thinks he thought he had? So is this what is happening to every presidential person in America, where they just break the law? Tell me
Hmm.
more.
Yes. The situation is embarrassing. These classified files found in Biden's home, even in the office too, two places. While he was vice president,
Mm,
it's embarrassing. The White House says Biden has assured Americans that he will fully cooperate with the investigation. So yesterday, what happened yesterday was this guy was appointed to head the investigation team. First batch of files have been found. The first one we have found in November the 2nd, and it has been handed over to the National Archives, like Biden has assured. So it's an embarrassing time, really. It's an embarrassing time. Investigators are looking if whether this thing will also affect some top secret classified informations that affects the country. So
Now,
and we remember this is similar thing that happened to Trump. Yes. Okay, go ahead, sir.
yeah, don't forget that Donald Trump has been insisting that this guy, Joe Biden and his family, they have some lucrative businesses in Ukraine. And he's been asking the government to investigate that one. And that was a major political issue while Joe Biden was campaigning. He won the election, but Donald Trump was insisting that Joe Biden's son has been involved in some unscrupulous businesses in Ukraine. How far do you think Donald Trump will be stitching these two together? And do we know anything about the files that have been found so far?
Yes, what they are looking at is how these files affect governance and America security.
Okay.
Yes, what they're also saying is this is coming late. Take note, some of these files were found when he was vice president to Obama. And so they are putting up all these together. There are about 325 classified files that is marked with secret.
That's a lot. That's a lot. With 325 classified files. What will he be doing with these files in his private homes? Wow.
Home. So we are looking. It's going to be a big one if he's indicted. If anything is seen in this concerning the security. What matters the most is how these files affect the security of the United States of America.
Yes, yes, security of United States, or maybe private affairs that have been investigated. But the question remains. I mean, 325 files. That's a lot. But the question remains that what will he be hiding? Is he hiding? Yeah, what I know is hiding.
Yes, take note. The son has his own issues too. Remember, he went through an era of drug taking, era of carrying loose women, and all that, and also some secrets were found with him and China, some secret dealings. So a lot of not too good informations are being dug out, and the Republicans are using this too. Now, our Republican man, that's the Republican Houseman, what's his name again? They are all putting their heads together and saying, yes, this should. And that's Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy said, yes, this also raised concern about what is going on, and they should really dig deep into all of this and let Americans know what all this means. I mean,
okay. Final question. Do you think this will drop the hands of Joe Biden's administration on Donald Trump?
Yes. I think it depends on what the investigation team will come up on this with. So, but yes, it will drag the hand of Joe Biden, and this will give some leverage to the Republicans.
Okay, let me ask you the one other question. Do you think Joe Biden will contest for the second term? And now that all these are coming out, number one, he's old, he's frail. The Republicans are complaining that he's too slow in speech. Do you think he's going to contest for the second term? And don't forget, Kamala Harris is a minority person. She's a lady. All those things that some misogynists will not want to vote for. And if Donald Trump should be put up by the Republicans and Kamala Harris should come up, can Kamala Harris defeat Donald Trump? I mean, we're just trying to see what the scenario, what could happen.
What's happening, Kamala Harris can even defeat it. But before now, everyone will tell you that Donald Trump will come out for second term. But with what is happening now, I know it will actually affect Joe Biden. It might be Joe Biden's loss and Trump gain, but we don't know because there's investigators until they are out with their reports. nobody can say that Trump
You
will
are
still
quite right.
continue. Yeah,
You are
but
quite
before
right.
now,
No,
everybody know he will go for second term. But as it stands now, we cannot say he will until the report of the investigation comes out.
That's correct.
Thank you. That's very correct. Mark, has Joe Biden cancelled out Donald Trump so that the Democrats will bring out a fresh hand and the Republicans will bring out a fresh hand? They've cancelled one another.
No. He can't. He can't cancel.
It doesn't work. It doesn't
Trump,
work like that.
it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Trump is still
I
a
was
strong.
expecting you to say that. Yeah.
Trump is still a strong contender for 2025.
Is he not old and frail?
Well, he has what it takes, and what it takes for the Republican is to say some of these rhetorics, these things they want to hear. Some of these hardline discussions. So Trump is standing up to it. He's really pulling up that weight for the Republicans.
Okay, except that he couldn't defeat the Democrats in the Senate. Well, let's move on. Here in England, all eyes are towards Saturday, the 6th of May, when King Charles will be coronated. In September last year, when the Queen died, he stepped in immediately according to the Constitution, albeit unwritten. And coronation has been set for the 6th of May 2023. For those of us living in England, we are happy because we are given 1 day of a public holiday. So the following Monday, we aren't going to work, or they are not going to work for those of them who are working for government. For those of us who are not working for the government, but then there is a bank holiday on that day. And the question is about Harry and Meghan. Will they be invited? And tongues have been wagging. Yes, they will invite them, but Harry and Meghan will say that they will not come because they will feel so awkward. Now, let's just break it down. Harry just released his book, Spear, and that book is peering through all the records of non-fictional sales. That is, people are buying it in their millions, and people are shocked about the sale of that book. Is understand that it's been the most sought book at the moment. Even with that, we are seeing it in electronic version free of charge. I've got about 5 copies of it. Different people sending it to me. I've not got time to go through 476 pages, but people are buying it, and they are saying that it has busted the records. Biddy, this is the son of the king, and he may not be there. And the king has only 2 sons from Diana. Of course, has some stepsons through Camilla Parkbao now. But looks like one of the sons will not be there.
Yeah, exactly. If you look at what is happening in the royal kingdom now, it's something I would call there's a crack, and that crack has been has been there, but it has been made visible by a book called Spate, released by Prince Harry. Now, the royal palace said they will invite them, but they expect them not to come.
Yeah.
You understand? They said certainly when invitation is being sending out, they will send an invitation to them, and they expect them not to come. With the kind of Harry personality, I know he will want to come, but the issue is here. The security has been withdrawn from him and his family, and he's so concerned about that. He said in one of his interviews that even if he's losing anything, that he don't care, but the security should not be taken away from him, not just because of him, but because of his children. Now you said you will invite him. He's part of that family, but you don't expect him to come. It's like a setup. They're actually not inviting him. They just want to make it. They just want to fulfill all righteousness. Oh, he was invited, but he didn't come. But obviously, you did not invite him. You just want to fulfill all righteousness. So it's still a dicey thing. We don't know. I can't tell you if Harry will come or Harry will not come. But if you ask me, Harry personality will want to come. But his major challenge is that security that has been withdrawn from him. And to crown it all, the monarchy, they are very bitter about Harry and Meghan. They are bitter about him. The whole country, they are bitter. Not that because they are bitter about, but because they've been instigated to be bitter about them. So it becomes an issue. Well, I can't tell you if Harry will come because the royal house wants
It's a
him to
dicey
come.
one. It's catch 22. If you do, you are damned. If you don't, you are damned. Mark,
Exactly.
if you do, you are damned. If you don't, so if they invite him, they are damned. If they don't invite him, they are damned. Harry too, his reputation is at stake for the rest of history. In 200 years, it will be there that Harry was invited to the coronation of his father, but he refused to make it. On the other hand, if he should make it, the press, the British press, will make a mincemeat of him because they claim that many people are not happy. While they claim that many people are not happy, his popularity has gone down below his uncle, Prince Andrew, who was allegedly involved in legal sex. Now, his book is fast selling in the same country. I can't really understand it. Mark, what is this situation
Yes,
looking like?
yes. The book is fast selling. Let's talk about the book because Harry played a very good, he applied a very good publicity stunt on that. Prior to the book, he did some real good background work. So we're looking at it like, yeah, the man knows what he's doing. All sorts of income for him and the wife and his family has been cut off. So they come up with all kinds of strategies and ways of raising money and surviving. So the book is really selling. The book is going wild on all the platforms and more in the UK because people want to know what is Harry saying. So yes, Harry and Meghan will be invited to the Charles coronation, but they are not expected to come. But we'll be surprised. Maybe, a last minute decision could be done, you know. So the Duke, like it's called, and the Duchess of Sussex have been offered the chance to attend the program. They are on the list, and even though they say there's a final list that will come out again prior to that day, but it's understood that they are on that list, on the list that's on now.
This is not good for history at all
Not
because
good.
the history will make a mincemeat of this. It's not good for history at all. In 100 years' time, it will be said that King Charles' son could not be at the wedding, at the coronation, excuse me. On the other hand, if Meghan and Harry should come, the press will, every detail will be monitored so that they can destroy his image and reputation. And who wants to go into the lion's den, especially if your name doesn't start with a D for Daniel? And so it's not looking good for everybody, is it?
It's not looking good for everybody, Shago. But I think family is still there's a strong bond in every family. There's something about family, even when they have all this rivalry, family feuds, and all this thing. At a point, there's that time when everybody just lays down their weapon and say, "Listen, you're my brother, you're my father, you're my son, you're my daughter, and let's just be the family we've always been." So I'm looking at that happening. I'm looking at that happening soon.
Which
Yes,
Harry
go on,
has
go on, go
actually,
on.
which Harry himself has actually called for. He said a lot has gone on and still going on. That they need sincere conversation and reconciliation and ready to say the truth for
That's
things to
correct.
be made right.
Yeah.
And if you look at the royal palace, the royal kingdom, the monarch that you and I know, you know that they are not ready for any conversation. They are
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
That
yeah.
I can tell you for
You
As
see,
sure.
long as maybe as long as Megan is there, because they still see her
you see,
as
the problem is that
If
whichever
that make,
conversation, the press will twist it. The
yeah,
public opinion will twist it. That's just their problem. So they went
that,
out yesterday. Kate, William, Prince Charles, all of them went out yesterday. They did not answer the question. What's your reaction to Prince Harry's book, nothing was said. Because anything that was said will be analyzed, will be twisted,
Differently.
will not be in their own interest.
I'm very sure they also bought copies of that book, each one of them.
Certainly, that one's
sitting in their computer. Sitting in their computer.
Let me tell you, even before the emergence of Meghan, if you have read that book, I've not finished reading it, but I've seen some chapters. This problem has been there. They are trying to make Meghan an scapegoat. If you follow the story of Harry, what he puts down in that book.
No, those of us who have followed the royal history knew that the institution is bigger than anybody. That was what happened to the Queen's sister. You can't marry this, you can't marry that, you can't marry this, you can't marry that, until she married just somebody. So the institution has always determined their behavior. Like Harry said, they couldn't cry when their mother died. But Harry is now even going deep down, saying that he could see the ginger hair of the mother in his children. That, if you know what I'm talking about, that is dangerous, because the ginger hair has always separated Harry from William. And now Harry is saying, I have more of my mother in my children. I'm sure that is a theme to be developed in the future sense. Let's just leave it there, go on a short break. When we return, we look at what Buhari is saying to foreign ambassadors in the soil. Don't go away.
Ladies and gentlemen, ADC na the party for you and me.
Yes, ADC arise, ADC arise, ADNC arise and shine Nigeria. ADC stands for belief, passion, ideas and creativity in nation building. We are value driven and just in our ways, thoughtful and forthright. We serve with integrity, confidence and commitment. ADC is the royalty in politics. Stand with ADC today. ADC is the future.
ADC,
arise and shine.
Oh yeah, Nigeria go better. If you vote ADC, plenty work go there. Make you vote ADC. ADC na the party for you. Party for you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
ADC na the party for you. Party for you and me.
Yes, ADC arise, ADC arise, ADNC arise and shine Nigeria. ADC stands for belief, passion, ideas and creativity in nation building. We are value driven and just in our ways, thoughtful and forthright. We serve with integrity, confidence and commitment. ADC is the royalty in politics. Stand with ADC today. ADC is the future.
ADC,
arise and shine.
oh yeah.
When I wrote the book, The Final Solution, the Lord gave me some things in the spirit realm to see going to happen here. And that is why you need to get a copy of this book, not because of the purchase, but because of the contents. We've not spent 2 weeks. Now we have seen the problem in Ukraine, Russia, and Belarus, Donetsk, Luhansk, and all the other surrounding nations. Talk less of the Western countries and the Eastern countries. We want to pray that this stops where it is. Some people are even imagining a third world war. I pray that there'll be no third world war. But we need to know the solution to all of these problems, and they are well packaged in that book, The Final Solution. The amount of money is next to nothing. Go to Amazon and buy this book. Go to the Kindle, go to KDP and buy this book. It's very important. So it is.
Be this world, changing your mindset.
Thanks for watching Newer. That's News Echo World Affairs. I'm so glad you are still with us. Let's go to Africa. In the most populous country in Africa, Nigeria, election is coming up on the 25th of February. And the president, Muhammadu Buhari, warned foreign envoys yesterday that they should hands off the 2023 elections. In fact, let me quote verbatim. In the forthcoming presidential election, as they inch closely, President Buhari has warned foreign nations to stay clear of meddling in Nigeria's election. Buhari issued the warning on Thursday while screening letters of credence from ambassadors of Sweden, Switzerland, the Republic of Ireland, the Kingdom of Thailand, the Republic of Senegal, and the Republic of South Sudan in Abuja. This is very interesting that President Buhari is warning foreign nations to hands off the Nigerian elections coming up in February and March. What does he know that we don't know? Billy, do you think there's something that the president knew that we did not know? Because it's not funny for a president to just say, let foreign nations hands off from the elections in my country. When he was being elected, did foreign nations help him or not? And don't forget, Obasanjo 3 days ago said that Britain should hands off the presidential elections come 2023. What's going on? What do you think these men know that we don't know?
Certainly, there must be something they are not telling us. For the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria to be this bold. Yeah, he made such close comments in 2019, but the way he's coming out to say it now, he actually said that he doesn't need their interference, he doesn't need their assistance, that Nigeria is working closely with ECOWAS states, and with ECOWAS states, they will be able to take care of whatever insecurity problem and make sure they have good election this 2023. I don't know, but he just made the comments and we're watching closely. Things will still unravel because something has prompted that statement. Because if a president of the country like Nigeria and like Mohamed Buhari could be bold to make this kind of statement, no one should take it lightly. I must tell you, there's something we don't know, but I tell you, just keep close here. We'll find out, we'll unravel whatever it is.
Yes, definitely. Something is fishy somewhere. Mark in Milan, what do you think they know that we don't know? Something is fishy here.
Something is fishy, Dr. Shagun. It's good you're bringing up that part of something being fishy, because this is the second time the president is doing this. Remember, in February 2022, he made similar statement and asked foreign diplomat not to meddle in Nigerian politics. So he's doing that again. Yes, like you said, while receiving letters of credence from the ambassador of Switzerland, Sweden, Republic of Ireland, and I think Thailand, also Senegal.
And South Sudan. Yeah, good.
He said that the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has to deal with insecurity in the region. He said all this, and now he went on to make that very verbal, strong statement. Please don't meddle in Nigerian internal affairs. That's how he put it. And,
okay.
Yes, internal affairs, and more importantly, in the coming election. So we don't know why he's saying this. Like you said, probably they know some things we don't know, because this is the second time now.
All right. Well, I want to ask you this question before we leave it. Buhari himself, did the Obama administration not intervene in 2014? Because George Chukwu, our man in Toronto, has always told us that Jonathan conceded the election, never lost the election, because the powers that be outside of Nigeria wanted him to concede power.
Exactly.
And that be assured.
As, you're very, very correct. You know, before the 2015 election, the United Kingdom, they made a prediction that Jonathan government will be the last president, will be the last president of Nigeria as a country, meaning that
Yeah.
Nigeria will be dividing. And because of that statement, they were fully involved in the election that saw Buhari as the president of Nigeria. They were fully involved. Yes, Jonathan considered defeat. A lot of Nigerians till today will still tell you that he didn't lose that election, but because he felt that not conceding will bring problem, a lot of people will die, a lot of lives will be lost. So he did what he did to save Nigeria. And now, the same people who were involved in getting you elected, you're telling them to stay clear. That's why I said something is really fishing, and we don't know it, but we'll find out what it is.
Wow. I'm still baffled, Mark. How do international powers meddle with an internal election like this? I recall that even the United States was saying that Russia should not meddle with their own presidential election. America is also crying out loud. I mean, how do they come in and sway things to happen?
It's interesting. Well, we all know that in the diplomatic community, countries have interests sometimes in other countries' issue. Like you said, Ambassador Sir George has always talked about meddling and all that, even in America. Yes, when there are some things that will favor a particular country, in our case, most time is the UK, the United Kingdom. They probably will favor a particular candidate to another, and we see them meddling in election. It's something that has always happened. It's not new. Even Nigeria too meddles in other little countries' election. You know, yes.
But why will Obasanjo come out directly, or should it be allegedly came out directly to warn Britain not to meddle with the Nigerian presidential election? I still don't understand, because we all know that Obasanjo is favoring Peter Obi. So whether the British government is supporting definitely will not be Peter Obi, according to my thinking.
Yes, and it's time also these countries back off. I mean, let's take our own destiny in our hands. Let's do our thing, and if we get it wrong, we know we made the mistake. So this meddling is time. They've done it too much on Africa. They've done it too much in Nigeria because of the interest. All the so, but it's time.
Yes.
Dr.
Yes,
Shego, United Kingdom has been instrumental to whatever that is happening in Nigeria, and who is elected in Nigeria and who is being removed.
Okay.
They contributed to bringing Buhari as the president of Nigeria today. Now, for Buhari to be bold, to tell them to stay off, that's why I said something is fishing. Now, you will recall that the presidential candidates of APC, Labour, lately, the presidential candidates of People Democratic Party, PDP, have been in UK, and he has met with some authorities. And after that, they made some statements that they want peaceful election in Nigeria. And when I saw that, I was like, what is their business? They're saying that they will make sure there's a peaceful election in Nigeria. See, they've been meddling. If President Buhari can be bold and say this and mean it, and you know why I said there's something. Earlier last year, middle of last year, Buhari made a promise to Nigerians that he's going to make sure we'll have free and fair election in 2023. He said it and said it repeatedly. Now, probably he has decided to make up with a lot of mistakes he has made, and he has decided to conduct a free and fair election. Now, maybe probably he's seen there are some action, some work, some things going on around that is going to deter that his free and fair election he has promised Nigeria. Maybe that is why he's making this statement.
Yeah.
But not yet in view of what it is.
I can't but agree with you. Maybe we move forward, but still on Buhari, we are told that he was unhappy with the state of coups in many African countries as we speak. Shall we talk of Mali, Burkina Faso, Sudan, Guinea, and the number is increasing. Buhari says, "I'm not happy." On what basis, Mark? Do you
Yeah,
think he has made this one? Is,
the,
is, is, is he hearing more than we do?
yes. I mean, obviously, when you're the president of Nigeria, you hear a lot. You know a lot too. But on what basis? I mean, this is a man that also was a coup plotter too, in his days, and
Yes, he plotted a coup and he was successful, and it was
yeah,
acted by a coup. Yeah.
a coup too. And so his life is also a little bit around that coup plotting, and backstabbing and all that. Anyway, on Wednesday, President Mohammed Buhari of Federal Republic of Nigeria said he's irritated. He used the word he's irritated with the coups. He's unhappy with the coups in Nigeria. And he said these things are descending Africa, into the abyss of unconstitutional change of government. It's putting us into the abyss, he said. So we are looking at probably what just happened in some of these West African countries. We don't know why he's saying this, or maybe there's also an uprising that's coming soon. Maybe another coup is on the way and he has heard of it. We don't know, but it's strange that Buhari is saying this, a man that is used to coup himself. And we don't know why he's saying this. We hope it's not that another country is trying to do one. Thank you, Dr.
Yeah, I know we have this problem and of coup because we can't continue having coups and having elections. They're just not compatible,
Yes.
especially in the sub-region of West Africa. And those presidents will be having they will be having challenges one day. I mean, a coup nearly happened in Gambia and it was foiled. So we know we are having problems with these coups and with running the administration in Africa. Maybe
Also, the Africans need to know that these things don't really help. Coups don't really bring development. It just out of
yeah, but what leads to coups? Is it not maladministration, embezzlement, corruption? So that if President Buhari doesn't want coups in Africa, then it should be one chairman in anti-corruption and against maladministration.
Yes, that's what I was going to add. It is bad administration that brings in these coup plotters. But the thing is, maybe Africa needs to rethink on what we call democracy. Maybe Africa is, yes, it's not really going so well. I mean, for years now, since we had independence from the English people and the French people and the Portuguese, we are still grouping in the dark. I mean, out of the 52 countries in Africa, you have probably just maybe 2 countries that the economy is struggling, is trying to really come up. So we're still grouping in the dark. So maybe we need to rethink on our form of governance. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not this type of democracy we are practicing. Maybe there's another type we should probably look into. I don't know. But
let me ask Biddy before we drop this topic. I think maladministration, mismanagement of funds, corruption, they are leading to these coups. And Buhari appears not to be attending those ones, but attending to I don't want coups.
Exactly why the queues in Africa will remain and will continue. Because most times in this part of the world, what we do is we attack the people, not looking at why are they behaving this way. the root cause of things. People don't just wake up and coup happens. It's because of bad governance. It's because of people not doing what they're supposed to do. Now, in Buhari's speech, he suggested multi-party system. Like a Massive Mike said that maybe probably this democracy is not working for Africa. Probably we should look in another direction. And Buhari, in his speech, he said that this coup is stopping our development. Now, my question is this: Africans, are we actually developing? We are not developing. We are just,
That's a powerful question.
we are not developing, but we are just growing. That is it. Now, Buhari has suggested multi-party system. That if we have a multi-party system in Africa, it could stop this number of coups that is happening everywhere in Africa. Before we achieve that, like you said, what kind of governance are we giving to our people? How are we governing our people?
You have hit something that we are not developing but growing. That is a powerful one. And the question is, Nigerians don't have sense of development. They just want the sense of growth. Our GDP is highest in Africa. Our something is highest in Africa. But we cannot see good roads. We cannot have electricity, no potable water, no good health facilities. So what kind of growth without matching development?
Exactly the problem of Africans. Exactly, and that is why this coup, and if you notice it in the last 10, 15 years, this coup has been common. It's because people are waking up.
People are very good discussion, Dr. Shagun. Very good discussion.
People are waking up. Do you understand? They're no longer being docile like before. People are waking up.
Yeah, and what we're doing in Africa is what I call lip
service.
Frog leaping.
Yeah.
We're just bouncing. Yes, we're just bouncing from one concept of human endeavor to the other without really passing through the process. You see, like the West, Europe, for example, they pass through a process of development. So we are just jumping. Internet will come, we just jump into that. This technology will come, we just jump. We're just doing that, and it looks like we're progressing, but we're not really going to.
No.
And that's why
I read some statistics, and they will say, look, our economic situation is better than that of developed countries like Sweden, like Switzerland, like Northern Ireland, like Ireland. And I laugh. When you go to all these areas, they have a gas submitted to all the houses. They have electricity to all the houses. They have potable water to all the houses. They drive on solid ground. Things are beautiful in their ways in all of these developed countries. But some people are claiming that our economy is better than them. We are the largest economy in Africa, but we cannot see any form of development.
Yes, sir. It is. It's like symbolizing a wood. Most times you have a wood, a fine furniture, but sometimes you have an ant, some termites eating that wood. But on the surface, the wood looks good. On the surface, everything looks nice, but behind it is going. So what will happen is, if it's not checked, there's a bam. One day everything just boom, because it's
collapse, and then we have a coup in our hand. Yes, I'm mindful of it. I'm mindful of the time, Massive Mark. But you have the story. Something happened in Burkina Faso Mosque, and 9 people were killed. You want to tell us that story?
Yes. Burkina Faso Mosque. Yes. There's a story on that. I think there's also a picture on that too. Let's get that picture out. It's a terrible thing happening in Burkina Faso. Sorry, let's get that picture out there. Yes, 9 people were killed when suspected jihadists attacked a mosque in the northern side of Burkina Faso. The attack in Burkina Faso region, like some people claim, were on. There's a town called Gallo-Gotoa in the Burkina Sahel region there. So what we had is some people came into a worship place, a mosque, and told the worshippers and the imam, the chief worshipper, to denounce their faith and change the form of what they are doing. And the imam said no, he refused, and they started cutting his throat. Yes, they started cutting his throat, and in the process, a lot of people left, a lot of people ran out, but these people were able to shoot and kill 9 community leaders and mainly worshippers. So that is Burkina Faso. That is what is happening there. Take note that since many years now, thousands have died in Burkina Faso, and millions have fled their homes. A lot of people have been attacked from neighboring country, Mali, and Burkina Faso is not doing well in terms of security of people, of citizens, and in terms of these insurgents. That's what is happening.
Thank you very much. Bidi, this is not on a church, but on a mosque. Where are we heading to in Africa?
I like that question. Where are we heading to? We are heading to where we have chosen to go to as Africans. You know, when these jihad people came to Africa, they decided to use a particular set of Africans to capture Africa. Initially, people will tell you, "Oh, we are Muslims." They use the Muslim thing. But from what is happening today, you will now understand that it's not about Muslim or it's not about Christian. It's about defeating Africans, because they went to mosque. They went to mosque. They singled out all the children and the women, and they decided to change their faith. You know, women and children, they are afraid of their life. I guess they accepted what they were preaching to them. They accepted what they asked them to do. That was actually why they spared their life. Now, the imam, the leaders of the mosque, refused. And they wanted to kill him by cutting his throat. He begged that he wants to be killed standing up, and they shot at him. And this is not first time this kind of thing is happening in Africa. It has happened in Nigeria. It's happened in Chad. It has happened in Mali. It shows you that it's an obvious plan to capture Africa. But it was so unfortunate that initially when this thing started, they were using Muslims to capture or to get to their fellow Africans. So I don't, like I said,
so the jihadis are having their way for territorial gain, not Islamic gain.
It's not Islamic thing, it's jihadist thing. Not that they are having, they've already had their way. They're already in Africa.
My word.
Yes.
How far is that your position, Mark? The jihadis have already had their way. They are in control of certain territories, isn't it?
They're in control. They're in control. Kaduna State Governor in Nigeria once told us that there are 2 parallel governments in his state, and the other one are the jihadis. So they are there, and we have a lot of work to do because they have their own way of thinking.
Well,
it's not only in Kaduna, in Nasarawa, in Benue, they collect tax.
Yes.
People pay tax to them.
Yes.
If you want to,
and even in the president's state as well.
Yes.
Katsina, and so and in Sokoto as well, where Tambua raised Well, that's how far we'll be able to go today. It's just my remaining duty to thank you, Bidi from Lagos, Nigeria. You have been immensely wonderful in your analysis. We are growing but not developing. For Mark in Milan, I have to thank you very much for bringing us and publishing us. And thank the crew in Italy and the television in France as well. This is how far we can go today for all our viewers. We're sure to be back on Wednesday when we bring issues of African news and analysis for your informed opinion. My name is Sheikh Johnson. God bless you all.